Hi, welcome to my channel. This video is the third in our Benford's law series, and in this session we will do a quick tour of Power BI and try to understand its components and their functionalities. Once we grasp the fundamentals of Power BI, then in the next video we will load the previously downloaded purchase card dataset into Power BI, do some transformations, and then create a report page. Before we move into Power BI intro segment, here is a quick recap of Benford's law. As we have already seen in the previous two videos, Benford's law is a first digit law, a Newcomb-Benford's law, and it is a statistical principle that states that in many real world datasets, the leading digit or the leftmost non-zero digit is likely to be a small number. So the leading digits in naturally occurring real world and Benford compliant datasets like population numbers, financial datasets, and as such, in those kind of datasets, the smaller leading digits like 1, 2, 3 are more frequent than the higher digits like 7, 8, or 9. And the leading digits follow a precise pattern. Now, as you can see on the graph on the right hand side, on the x-axis you have digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 9, and on the y-axis you see the distribution. And Benford's distribution indicates that if the leading digit in those kind of datasets which we discussed is 1, and the likelihood of the probability of that digit appearing is about 30.1%. And similarly, if you look at digit 2, it appears 17.61%, and so on. As you can see, as the digits are increasing on the x-axis, the frequency is decreasing. And also, leading digit, if it is 1, it appears about 6 times higher than the digit 9. So now that we have understood the basics, let us try to move along. And this particular Benford's law can also be expressed mathematically as probability of a digit d equal to common logarithm 1 plus 1 over d, where, as I said, PD is the probability that a number will have the digit d as the leading digit, and d is a digit from 1 to 9. So there are certain things which, before we go into Power BI, I just wanted to reiterate. It has to be a naturally occurring data set like sales data, financial data, scientific data, population data, and as such. And the data should not be like pre-assigned numbers like social security or telephone numbers, because in real world naturally occurring datasets there are several orders of magnitude. The sales dataset or financial dataset, the numbers will vary, right, in different magnitudes. But in pre-assigned datasets like telephone numbers or social security, there is a min and maximum. There is a threshold. So in those type of datasets, you cannot apply Benford's law because it's a single order magnitude dataset. So the dataset has to be a little bit large enough, and it has to be naturally occurring, and also it has to have several observations. So those are the basic conditions where the dataset should be falling into those criteria. Then only you can test Benford's law. And I suggest, in case if you want more details, I suggest you to watch my previous videos, or probably look up on the internet, and there are a lot of experts who have much more deeper details, and they talk about Benford's law and its applications. So let us move to the next area. That is what we wanted to do. We'll try to understand what is Power BI. Power BI is under a family of Microsoft Power Platform, and there are various low-code development services like Power Pages, Copilot Studio, Power Automate, and Power BI. So this comes under that umbrella. And Power BI is a BI tool which is used for visualizing data. And once you load the data into the Power BI, you can create various charts and graphs and dashboards. Now, there are several components of Power BI. Primarily, we'll talk about three of them here. One is Power BI Desktop, which is used for building reports. And the second is Power BI Service, where once you create reports in Power BI Desktop, you can publish them onto this cloud-based platform and share it among your target audience. And there is something called as Power BI Mobile, which provides a seamless and interactive experience. What are the common use cases for Power BI? He, First is that we can connect to data and transform and clean data to create a data model. And once you create the data model, you can create visuals and such as graphs or charts. And once you do that, you can publish them onto your either Power BI service or your Power BI report server. And once you do that, you can share them among your target audience. And let us see visually how it looks. As we have said, you can connect to many kind of data sources like text, CSV files, or you can bring data from your web or from databases like SQL Server, MySQL, all those other types of data sets. And Power BI connects to several dozens of data sources. So once you bring in the data, uh, in any form, you can have a collection of data too. You can bring data from different sources, merge or append in Power Query, and load it into Power BI Desktop. You can do all those things. And once you load that, it comes into Power BI. And as we have discussed already, Power BI as an integrated tool called as Power Query. And folks who are coming from Excel, they are already aware of Power Query. And this integrated tool will be helpful in doing data preps and also your transformations and other related stuff. Now, the Power Query engine uses a scripting language called as M language. And this M language is a data transformation language of Power Query. And most of the people work on M query too. So it depends, like, Power BI jobs are different. You have either you're a Power BI developer. It could, the job role and responsibilities could include right from data loading, making the transformations, in fact, sourcing the data, loading the data, extracting whatever columns you want into the data model, and creating all those visuals based on the needs, company needs or your research questions. Once you do that, all those things can be done. That is one area. And people also work in specializing in M query language. Those are a different type of developers. If you're a report developer, you work only on the report side. You kind of already the data is already there in the data model, so you don't have to worry about that. And that data, from that data model, you kind of work your way through trying to slice and dice the data and bring up all those visuals and create report pages and dashboards. Those are the different types of Power BI jobs, variety of jobs. So once, as we have discussed, once the data comes into Power BI Desktop, you create your visuals. Either you can kind of publish them onto PBI service, which is a cloud-based platform. You load into publish into those Power BI service, or if you have a local on-premises report server, you can publish them onto them too. So it's up to your company. They will decide what are the options to be taken. Either it goes to PBA service or PBI report server. It could be a combination of both too. So once you create all the visuals and reports, on those dashboards could be published onto either of those services or both. Once you do that, those reports, report pages could be consumed by the target audience. So in a nutshell, that is how the visual depicts how the data is coming into Power BI, and how you use the Power Query graphical tool and do the transformations and create visuals and publish them. Once we come into this segment, we have to understand what do we want to do, right? Like in the previous two videos, in fact in the last video we have used Excel to kind of test the theory, Benford's theory on a data set. And the same thing which we can do in this video too. We wanted to load everything into Power BI. So what are the steps involved? Steps involved are, first you have to load the purchase card transaction dataset into Power BI. Once you load it, you do all those transformations. Once you do that, you get the data is loaded into the data model. And once you have that, you go to table view in your Power BI desktop, extract the leading digit, and from the transaction amount, that is what the target column which we have decided to use. So extract that particular refmost digit, and calculate all those frequencies and percentages, and also try to include Benford distribution by creating measures, and create a report page. We have understood the basic functionality of Power BI, and also we have understood the steps we need to take to create a report page in Power BI. So in the next video, we will try to load the data into Power BI and try to create a report page where we compare observed percentage with Benford. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.